The sky was dark and full of smoke. Ash fell from above like dead snow. The buildings were broken, and fire still burned in some parts. This place was once a great alien city, but now it was quiet and full of danger. The monsters came at night. They had long arms, sharp teeth, and they hunted anything that moved. Even the strongest alien warriors were afraid of them. That is why the girl was alone now. She was hiding under broken metal and stone. Her name was Nara, and she was not human. Her skin was light blue, her hair soft and silver. Her eyes glowed a little in the dark, like stars. She looked like a child, maybe 7 or 8 in human years. 3 days ago, her people ran away and left her behind. They were escaping the monsters. And they thought Nara would slow them down, so they told her to hide and wait. But they never came back. Nara had no food, no water, and no one to protect her. She was scared, cold, and tired. But she did not cry anymore. She had cried enough. In the first 2 days, now she just waited quietly, hiding in the shadows, hoping the monsters would not find her. Then she heard footsteps, not the heavy, loud footsteps of monsters. These were softer, slower, almost careful. Someone was walking. Nearby, she held her breath, her small hands shaking. Was it another beast? Or something worse? She looked through a crack in the wall. A tall figure was coming through the ruins. His armor was dirty, scratched from battle, and smoke rose from his helmet. He was not one of her people. He was human. Ryan was a soldier from Earth. His team had landed here for a mission, but things went wrong. The monsters attacked them fast. Most of his team were killed, some captured. He was the only one who escaped. He had been walking for hours, trying to find shelter or other survivors. His gun was almost empty. His leg hurt from a fall. He was tired, but he kept moving when he heard a small sound, like breathing. He turned and pointed his gun. That's when he saw her. Nara sat frozen behind a broken wall. Her glowing eyes met his. Ryan was confused. She looked like a child, but not human. Still, she didn't run, didn't scream. She only looked at him and said softly, "Don't be scared, I'm here." Ryan did not speak. He had seen many strange things during this war, but never something like this. Why would this small alien girl speak in his language? And why was she alone? He lowered his gun slowly. Maybe she was not dangerous. Maybe she needed help. But before he could say anything, he heard a sound. A low growl came from the shadows behind the girl. It was deep and ugly. Then came the sound of claws scraping stone. Ryan's eyes widened. One of the monsters was close. Very close. Nara turned her head slowly. She had heard it too. Fear returned to her glowing eyes. Ryan looked at her. Then at the dark corner behind her. He didn't have time to think. He raised his gun and aimed past her. A shadow moved, fast and large, jumping forward. He pulled the trigger. The bullet hit the monster in the shoulder. It screamed, a high, painful sound. It jumped back into the dark, growling louder now. Ryan ran forward and grabbed the girl's arm. "Come on!" he shouted. Nara didn't resist. She followed him, her small legs running fast. They moved through broken streets and burned buildings. The monster was chasing them. Ryan fired another shot behind him. This one missed, but slowed the beast. Finally, they found an old structure, half underground. Ryan pushed open the heavy door and pulled her inside. He closed it and locked it with metal bars. The monster slammed against the door once, then went quiet. Inside, it was dark. Ryan sat down, breathing hard. Nara stood in the corner, watching him. He looked at her again, confused but curious. "Who are you?" he asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "I was left behind." Ryan nodded slowly. He had been left behind too, but something told him maybe they were not meant to die here. Maybe this meeting was something more, outside. More growls echoed in the wind. The monsters were still hunting. But now they were not alone. The air inside the shelter was cold and dry. Dust floated in the light coming through the cracks above. Ryan checked his weapon. 2 bullets left. Not enough to fight, just enough to run. Nara sat silently on the floor. her small fingers holding her knees. She watched him with wide eyes but didn't speak. Ryan didn't know what to say either. He had fought aliens before, tall, angry ones with weapons, but this one looked like a scared child. She had soft silver hair, pale skin, and eyes that glowed like soft light. He handed her a water pouch. She took it slowly, her hands shaking. After a few sips, she looked at him and whispered, "Why did you help me?" Ryan stared at her, then looked away. He didn't have a good answer. Maybe it was instinct, maybe guilt, or maybe, just maybe, he didn't want to lose another innocent life. "I don't leave kids to die," he said finally. Nara tilted her head, confused. "Even alien kids?" she asked. Ryan gave a tired smile. "Even alien kids." There was a silence between them, but it was not heavy. It was the kind of silence that lets something new begin. Suddenly, a noise echoed from outside, a soft beeping, then a voice. Broken by static, Ryan stood up fast, pulling out a small device from his bag. It was a communication scanner. He had almost forgotten it was still working. The voice came again. "Team Echo, is anyone alive? Request reply." Ryan pressed the button. "This is Sergeant Ryan Walker. I'm alive. One survivor with me, unknown ally, request pickup." The voice answered. "Signal received. Tracking location. ETA 6 hours. Stay hidden." Ryan exhaled slowly. Help was coming. 6 hours felt like forever, but it was hope. He looked at Nara. She didn't smile. Not even a little. "You shouldn't have done that," she said quietly. Ryan frowned. "Why not?" She stood up slowly and walked toward the corner of the shelter. She pointed to a rusted panel in the wall. Behind it was a blinking red light. "Your signal was heard by more than just your team," she said. "The monsters. They listen." Too. Ryan cursed under his breath. He should have known. This planet wasn't just wild. It was watching. He turned toward her. "You said you were left behind," he said. "Why?" Nara looked at the floor, her voice low. "My people. They used me," she said. "I have something inside me. They called it a gift, but it scares them." Ryan didn't speak. He knew that look, the look of someone used, betrayed. He had seen it in refugees, soldiers, even himself. "What kind of gift?" he asked. Nara hesitated. Then she raised her hand. Her fingers glowed softly, not bright, but strange. A small rock on the ground started floating into the air. Then it gently fell back. "It's not strong," she said. "Not yet." Ryan stepped back, surprised. He had never seen a child with power like that, not even in enemy records. "Is that why they left you?" he asked. She nodded. "They said I would bring danger to the tribe. So they sent me out as bait." Ryan clenched his jaw. What kind of people would use a child like that? Human or alien? That was cruel. He sat back down, resting against the wall. "We have 6 hours," he said. "Then we get out of here." Nara looked uncertain. "What if your people don't want me?" she asked. Ryan looked her straight in the eyes. "They'll listen to me," he said. "If they don't, I'll protect you anyway." Nara blinked, surprised. No one had ever said that to her before. But before she could answer, the ground shook slightly. Ryan grabbed his weapon and stood up. He looked at the door. Dust was falling from the cracks above. "They're close," Nara whispered. Ryan nodded. "If we stay here, we're dead." He walked to the far side of the shelter and opened a hidden tunnel hatch. A long staircase led down into darkness. "Where does it go?" he asked. Nara stepped beside him. "I think to the old tunnels under the city." Ryan looked down into the dark. It was risky, but staying was worse. He turned to her, holding out his hand. "Deal of survival," he said. "We stick together till the end." Nara looked at his hand, then slowly placed hers in it. "Deal," she said together. They stepped into the shadows once more, and above them, the monsters howled. The tunnels were cold and full of old air. Every step made dust rise like forgotten memories. Nara walked close behind Ryan, her small hand gripping his armor. The dark made her nervous, but Ryan's presence gave her courage. They moved slowly, following a path that was once used by human engineers. Wires hung from the ceiling like metal vines. Broken lights flickered every few minutes, making everything look haunted. Ryan kept his weapon ready. His eyes scanned every corner. He had been here before. Not these exact tunnels, but places like this, back when he still believed in the mission. He stopped near an old metal door. The number at 23 was scratched on the surface. He touched it gently, as if the door remembered him. Then he pushed it open. Inside was a small room. Part control center. Part shelter. Screens lined the walls, some still glowing with low power. Old human flags and mission posters hung on the walls. This place was once alive, filled with soldiers, engineers, and hope. Now it was silent. Only ghosts remained. Ryan walked to a terminal and wiped off the dust. The screen blinked, asking for a code. He entered one, an old security code from his unit. It worked, a soft beep. Then a message appeared. Last log, Commander Ellis to 74 days ago. Ryan opened the video. A tired face appeared on screen. His old commander. The man looked thinner, eyes full of fear. We tried to fight them, Ellis said. But they weren't just monsters, they adapted. They copied. They used our dead, Nara gasped softly. Ryan stared, frozen. Ellis continued. They're not animals, Ryan. There's something else, something smarter. I don't know how long we have, but if anyone sees this, don't trust the surface. The screen blinked again, then went black. Ryan sat down, silent. He had trusted this mission, trusted his leaders. But they didn't tell him the truth. They sent him and his team into a trap. Nara looked at him, her voice quiet. What does it mean? They used your dead? Ryan looked at her. He wanted to protect her from that answer. But she had already seen enough pain. She deserved the truth. They take the bodies, he said slowly, and wear them like armor. So when you fight, it feels like you're killing your friends again. Nara said nothing. She stepped forward and touched his hand. Her fingers were small and warm, but they made him feel grounded. You lost people, she said. Ryan nodded. My whole team, he replied. They were my family. Nara looked down. Me too, she whispered. They were supposed to love me. But they left me instead. A silence passed between them. It wasn't the kind that hurt. It was the kind that understood. Suddenly, a light on the wall started blinking red. Ryan jumped up, checking the screen. A motion alert. Something was moving in Tunnel C4, not far from them. He zoomed the camera feed for a second. The image was unclear. Then came focus. A shape, tall, armored, walking slowly through the tunnel. At first it looked human, but then the head turned. Too fast. Too far. The mouth opened sideways, full of thin black teeth. Nara covered her mouth. Ryan felt his stomach twist. It was wearing a human uniform, but it wasn't human. Ryan turned off the screen. They're getting smarter, he said. They're searching for signals. Maybe they followed mine. Nara stood close beside him. What do we do now? She asked. Ryan looked at the map on the wall. There's a supply room deeper in the tunnels. Maybe weapons, maybe answers. He picked up his gun. Check the battery, half left. It's a risk, he said. But staying here is worse. Nara nodded. I trust you, she said. Her voice was small but full of belief. Ryan gave a small smile. He didn't know why, but those 3 words gave him strength. He looked at her, then at the old flag hanging above the door. Let's go, he said, and the two walked into the tunnel again, not just to survive, but to find out the truth. Behind them, the screen blinked once more. In the shadows of Tunnel C4, the creature kept walking. It stopped for a second, sniffed the air, then it smiled. Asterisk, the deeper they went, the colder it became. The walls were no longer smooth metal, but old stone and strange markings. The lights above flickered less now. Most were dead, like the people who once walked these tunnels. Ryan led the way, gun in hand. His boots echoed softly with each step. Behind him, Nara followed, quiet but alert. They had not spoken much since they left the control room. The memory of that creature, wearing human skin, was still fresh. Ryan couldn't forget its twisted face. Nara couldn't forget how. It looked straight into the camera, as if it knew. They reached a wide circular room, part lab, part storage. Old screens were cracked. Shelves were filled with broken machines. In the middle of the room stood a strange pod. It was tall, covered in thick vines and glowing symbols. Not human tech, alien. Nara walked toward it slowly. Her fingers brushed the surface, and the pod lit up. Symbols glowed beneath her hand, forming a strange pattern. Ryan watched carefully, gun still raised. "How do you know what to do?" he asked. Nara didn't answer right away. She looked at him, her eyes shining brighter than before. "I've seen this before," she said softly. "In my dreams," Ryan frowned. "This was buried for years. How would you dream about it?" Nara placed both hands on the pod. "I don't know," she said. "But when I touch it, something wakes up inside me." Suddenly, a voice filled the room. Not loud, but deep and ancient. It didn't speak any human or alien language. It spoke directly into their minds. "Project Echo. Genetic vessel recognized. Activation sequence complete." Ryan stepped back, heart racing. What the hell is Project Echo? Nara turned toward him, her face pale. "My people. They said I was born from the stars," she whispered. "They said I was a gift from the gods. But it was a lie." She sat on the ground holding her head. "I remember now. I wasn't born. I was made." Ryan stared. "Made? You mean? Like a clone?" Nara shook her head. "Worse," she said. "I was built to carry something. A signal, a code, maybe a weapon. Even I don't fully understand." Ryan knelt beside her. "Your people abandoned you because of that?" "They were afraid," she said. "They thought I would destroy them. Or change them. Or lead the monsters to them." Ryan looked at the pod. It was still glowing, but softer now, like it had done its job. "What about the monsters?" he asked. "Do they want what's inside you?" Nara looked at him, her voice barely a whisper. "No. They want to erase it. They fear it." Ryan felt the weight of her words. Everything made sense now. The monsters, the betrayal, the power. She wasn't just some child he rescued. She was the key to something bigger. The monsters weren't just hunting for food. They were hunting her. Suddenly, the floor rumbled. A soft vibration, like footsteps, but many. Ryan stood and aimed his gun toward the hallway. "We need to move," he said. "They're coming." Nara stood up, her hands glowing faintly. "Wait," she said. "I want to try something." She closed her eyes, raised her hands, and focused. The pod behind her pulsed with light. A soft wave of energy spread out, invisible to the eye, but Ryan felt it like a shiver on his skin. Nara opened her eyes, and for a moment, they looked almost silver. "I sent a message," she said. "To what?" Ryan asked. "To whoever built me," she replied. Ryan stared at her, speechless. "You think someone's still out there?" "I don't know," she said. "But if they are, they'll hear me." The hallway behind them echoed again. This time louder. No more time to wait. Ryan grabbed her hand. "Come on, we find the old hangar bay," he said. "Maybe there's a ship." They ran through the tunnels, lights blinking behind them. But something had changed now. Nara wasn't just a scared girl anymore. She was something more. Ryan didn't know if that made her safer or in more danger than ever. Back in the lab, the pod began to crack, small lines spreading across its surface like glass under pressure. From within, a soft red light started to shine. Something had woken up, and far away, in the deep corners of the planet, something else heard her message, and it began to move. The storm had stopped, but the silence it left behind was worse. Wind no longer screamed through the tunnels. Now only a low hum filled the air. The sound of machines approaching. Ryan stood at the edge of a broken doorway. He looked up through a crack in the ceiling and saw lights in the sky. Not stars, not meteors, ships. "They found us," he said quietly. Nara stood behind him, her eyes locked on the sky. She wasn't sure if she felt fear or something else. She had been left behind. Once, now someone was coming, but who and why? One ship was human, painted with Earth Alliance colors. The other was alien, shaped like a sharp wing of metal. They were not here to save anyone. They were here for something, or someone. 2 ships, Ryan said, checking his weapon. 1 from my side. And 1 from yours. Nara didn't speak. She looked down at her hands. They were shaking, glowing slightly again. Ryan noticed. You okay? He asked. She nodded, but her face showed doubt. I feel something inside, moving. Like fire waking up. Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder. We'll face it together, he said. An hour later, both ships landed, but not close. Each side moved through the ruins from different directions. Humans came with scanners and rifles. Aliens came with energy blades and cold eyes. Ryan and Nara stayed hidden, watching from the shadows of a broken tower. They don't know we're together, he said. They'll shoot first, ask later. Nara looked at the alien team. I know her, she whispered, pointing to the tall female leader. She was my teacher. Before they abandoned me, the woman's name was Commander Thyra. Sharp voice, sharper decisions. She had once told Nara, your power is beautiful, but dangerous. Then later, she voted to leave Nara behind. Ryan studied the humans. He recognized a voice through his cum scanner. It was Lieutenant Harris, his old teammate. Ryan activated the scanner, careful not to make noise. Harris, he whispered. It's Ryan. I'm alive. But I'm not alone. There was a pause then. A voice replied, Ryan, you're alive? Where are you? Watching, he said. I've got something important. Someone. Is it the alien girl? Harris asked. Ryan paused. Yes, he answered. But she's not the threat. She's the key. Silence again. Then Harris said, orders are to secure and detain her. Ryan frowned. That's a mistake, he said. She's not what they think. Before Harris could respond, a loud sound echoed from the ruins. A scream, part metal, part voice. The monsters had arrived, dozens, maybe more. Came crawling through cracks, pipes, tunnels. They moved like liquid shadows, fast and silent. Then chaos exploded. Gunfire from both human and alien sides, energy beams, explosions, screaming. Ryan grabbed Nara's hand. We have to move now. They ran toward an old tower core, trying to avoid the fight, but 3 monsters dropped in front of them. Ryan fired twice, missed once. One beast jumped forward, but stopped midair. Frozen, shaking, Nara had raised her hand, her eyes glowing like silver fire. Her voice echoed, layered, ancient. Enough. The monster screamed and shattered into black dust. Ryan stared. Nara looked different. Her skin still blue, but brighter. Energy flowed around her, dancing like light. He stepped back, not afraid, just in awe. What was that? He asked. Nara held her head, breathing hard. I don't know, she said. But it's growing. Behind them, Thyra saw what happened. So did Harris. Both sides paused their fight for a moment. They had seen her power. Now they wanted her. Even more, but not for protection, for control. Ryan aimed his gun toward both sides. Don't come closer, he shouted. She's not your weapon. Commander Thyra raised a hand. Child, come back with us. We can help you. Harris stepped forward. Ryan, stand down. We'll take it from here. Nara looked at both sides, then at Ryan. I don't belong to them, she said. I don't belong anywhere. Ryan knelt beside her. Yes, you do, he said. You belong with someone who sees you, not something in you. The ground shook again. More monsters were coming. This time, bigger, louder. All sides looked up as a massive beast climbed. From beneath the ruins, twisted, armored, glowing with the same power Nara had. Ryan's eyes widened. They've changed, he said. They've taken your energy. Nara stepped forward, her face calm. I can stop it, she said. But I may not be me after. Ryan grabbed her arm gently. No matter what you become, I'll still be here. She smiled, just for a moment. then walked toward the beast, her light growing stronger, and all sides watched, not knowing whether she would save them, or become something none of them could stop. Asterisk. The sky had turned red. Smoke and dust covered the sun like a dying flame. Everyone, humans, aliens, and monsters, had stopped moving. All eyes were on the little girl, who now stood glowing like a star in the ruins. Nara was changing, not her body, not just her. Power, something deeper, something inside her mind. Her eyes no longer looked like a child's. They were full of memory, not just hers. Ryan watched her carefully. He had seen fear in her, pain, courage, but now he saw something else: distance. Nara. He said softly. She turned toward him, her voice layered and calm. I can feel everything. She walked slowly toward the massive monster. It was still for a moment, watching her. Then it roared and charged. Ryan lifted his gun, ready to fire. But Nara raised her hand. Time slowed. Light rippled from her skin in waves. The creature froze mid-charge, then its skin cracked. Glowing from within, with a whisper, the beast broke into dust. 1 second it existed. The next it was gone. Everyone stepped back, even the soldiers, even Commander Thera. No one spoke. Because no one knew what to say, Nara turned around slowly. Her face was calm, too calm. I didn't mean to destroy it, she said. I just didn't want it to hurt anymore. Ryan took a step closer. You're still you, he said. But even he wasn't sure. She looked down at her hands. They don't feel like mine anymore, she whispered. There's something else inside. Like a voice or a memory. Ryan knelt in front of her. Can you fight it? She nodded slowly. For now, from behind, the two commanders approached. Thera's voice was steady. She's too dangerous to keep alive. Harris raised his gun. I don't want to do this. Ryan, but we can't take chances. Ryan stood and pointed his gun at both of them. You shoot her, and I shoot you, he said coldly. She saved all of us, and now you want to end her? Thera frowned. She's not a child anymore. She's something else. We don't even know what. Nara stepped forward. Neither do I, she said. But I'm still me. I think. She looked at the broken earth, then back at Ryan. I saw something, she said. When I touched the light, Ryan narrowed his eyes. What did you see? Earth, she replied. Burning. Everyone went quiet. The monsters, she said. They were made to destroy. But now they want to evolve. And they want what I carry. Ryan clenched his jaw. They're planning to attack Earth. Nara nodded. They need me to unlock something. Maybe a signal. Maybe a gate. Thera stepped back, shocked. Then we have to stop them at the source. Nara shook her head. It's already begun. A quiet alarm buzzed on Ryan's scanner. New signals. 6, no 10 ships. Entering orbit. Not human. Not alien. Something new. They're waking up across the system, Ryan said. We're out of time. Nara's voice softened. I can stop them, but I'll have to connect to what's inside me fully. If I do, I might lose myself. Ryan stepped forward and held her face in his hands gently. No matter what happens, I'll find you. I promise. Her eyes shimmered, almost tearing. You always say the right thing, she whispered. Even when I'm scared. The ground cracked beneath them. A beam of blue light burst from the old pod behind them. A signal rising into the sky. It was beginning. Nara looked at the sky, then back at Ryan. She smiled. Don't be scared, she said. I'm here. Then she rose slowly into the air. Her body wrapped in glowing energy. Light spread across the ruins, pushing back the sky. Her voice echoed through every ship, every screen, every mind. I am not your weapon. I am your warning. And then, in one final flash of light, she was gone, vanished. The Earth Alliance ship lost signal. The alien commanders fell silent. Even the monsters stopped moving. And Ryan, he stood alone, but not broken, because he believed she would return, not as a weapon, but as a new beginning. The world had stopped breathing. After the light faded, there was only silence. No sound from the skies, no movement on the ground. Even the monsters stood still, like statues trapped between time and fear. Ryan stood in the ruins, his eyes locked on the sky. She was gone, not dead, not destroyed, just beyond, where light and thought and energy mixed together. The scanner on his wrist flashed with strange symbols. Not human, not alien, but familiar. They pulsed in the same rhythm as Nara's old heartbeat. He knew she was still alive somewhere, in some form, waiting. The commanders argued behind him. "She's turned into something uncontrollable," Harris said. "We should call for planetary strike." Thera shook her head. "She didn't attack us. She stopped the signal. She saved all of us." Ryan didn't speak. He walked alone through the ash and stone. His boots kicked dust into the air, each step taking him deeper into the wreckage of what once was war. Then, the ground shook again. But this time, it wasn't a monster. It was something worse. From the heart of the broken city, a massive gate rose, black, pulsing, ancient. It looked like a giant eye made of metal and bone. It wasn't built by humans, nor by aliens. It was built by something older, and now it was opening from within. A sound came, like thousands of voices whispering at once. Then a form stepped out, humanoid in shape, but made of liquid shadow. Its voice echoed in the air, deep and cold. "The vessel has awakened, but the key remains." Ryan aimed his gun. "I don't care what you are. You're not taking her." The shadow creature laughed. "She was never yours," it said. "She belongs to the code, to us." Ryan's grip tightened. "She belongs to herself," he said. "And you're not ready for what she's become." As if called by his voice, the sky began to shimmer again. From the clouds, a beam of silver light fell like a sword, and in that light, she returned. Nara, but not the same child. She floated above the ground, glowing with calm power. Her face was soft, her eyes ancient, her voice strong and clear. "You do not speak for me," she said to the shadow. The creature stepped back. "You carry our legacy," it said. "You are the last gate." Nara looked down at Ryan, then to the human soldiers, the alien warriors, then to the monster corpses that still smoked in the dust. "I was built to be a gate," she said, "but I choose to be the end of you." With a wave of her hand, the black gate cracked. The shadow screamed. Energy pulled inward like a vacuum. The wind howled, rocks lifted, the ground split. Ryan ran to cover, but he didn't look away. He had to see her, not just what she could do, but what she chose to do. Nara floated into the storm, light pouring from her body like a sun cracking open. The shadow reached out. "You'll lose yourself," it said. "You'll be nothing." Nara smiled. "I was already nothing," she said. "Now I am free." With one final burst, the light consumed the gate. The storm collapsed, and everything went quiet. Again, no wind, no whispers, only a soft silver glow floating down like snow. Ryan walked forward, the ground still warm under his feet. He saw a shape sitting quietly in the middle. It was Nara. Not glowing, not floating, just a girl again. Her hair was messy, her face tired, but her eyes were clear. She looked up and smiled. "You kept your promise," she said. Ryan smiled back. "So did you." The other soldiers slowly stepped forward, guns lowered, faces unsure. Thera stepped in front. "She saved all of us," she said softly. "She chose peace over power." Ryan knelt beside Nara. "What do you want now?" he asked. Nara looked at the sunrise breaking through the broken sky. "I want to see Earth," she said. "Not as a weapon, but as someone real." He nodded. "Then let's go home." As they walked toward the rescue ship, hand in hand, the monsters disappeared into the dust. The last gate closed, and history remembered one small alien child, not as a tool, not as a god, but as the one who chose light over darkness when the galaxy needed it most.